Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Fun Stuff Friday and we've got all sorts of fun stuff for you today. First of all, of course, is the Artlicious Primo Soft 72 color Artist Series colored pencils. And we will be going through these and doing a swatch, as well as taking a look at the pencils, doing doing the water test, of course, and coloring with them for a little bit. So these are a 72 set of pencils. They are a lovely, lovely 4mm core. And as you can see, without knocking everything off my desk, they are a wood barrel with a varnish on it. Now, we'll do a quick swatch. Now, it's not really all that quick. It will be about 5 or 6 minutes. Grab your coffee, sit back and relax, enjoy the swatch, and we will be right back with these wonderful pencils and we will take a closer look at them. All right, guys, I'll be right back. right, now that wasn't so bad, was it? So let's take a closer look at these pencils. As I said, they are a 4mm core. They are in a wooden barrel with a varnish on it. So there's no paint, there's no how to duty or anything like that. Just a wood barrel with a varnish on it, which is really nice. And these are a very, very dainty pencil. They feel really thin compared to other pencils for a 4mm core. Now, as you can probably see, the core takes up most of the pencil, which is wonderful. So we're going to take a look at them. I'm going to switch you on over to the other camera here. I'm going to put the mat up so that I can color. So we're going to, I've got to do it this way. My mat is ugly and dirty, and I have gotten all different inks on it, so I apologize. But in order to show you what we are dealing with here, I have to put you in there. So let's move you up a little bit so that I can get the pencil under. So as you can see, that core is very, very large. Some of them are not overly completely centered, but they're not too bad. Now, as you can see, there is no numbers on here. However, there is a name. So there's Flamingo, the Primo Soft 4mm, as well as the Artlicious brand. I'm not seeing any major cracks. You can see where the wood is combined, but there is no crack in it. And I don't see any major cracks on the, well, maybe a little one there. But that may also just be from the combination. So we'll give it a sharpen and we'll see what happens then. Because if we sharpen it and it cracks more, then we know that the barrel's cracked all the way. Now, I do believe that these are glued all the way in. Yeah, see, it didn't split anymore, so it's just where it combines. So it does go to a lovely, lovely point, as you can see. And as you can see, the fact that it's just slightly off center isn't a big deal. You still have plenty of coloring space there. All right, so it has 3 trays of colors. So we have 3 different trays. Now I have sharpened this tray here to do the swatch. So we've got our yellows into our oranges, into our red-orange colors. And then we have our reds into our purples, into our greens, into starting on the blues. And then in this tray, let's see if I can get it out without knocking it around. We have our blues into our browns, into our grays and blacks. And they're not too badly warped. There is a couple that bounce a little bit when you roll them over. Now, I'm not sure if that's the pencil or if it's the tray. From what I'm seeing here at the end of the tray, like you can see it on this pencil here, the core is touching above the end of the tray. And when I roll it, it doesn't bounce. So I think that's just the tray, because the pencils are a little tiny bit longer than the tray. Because when I sharpen them, I don't have any bounce at all. So I don't think they're horrible. Definitely not something that I would send them back for. They're not jumping out at me, so that's not too bad. So let's give these a test run. Well, actually, let's talk about the swatch first. and then we'll give them a test run. I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm so excited about them. They're so cool and they're just lovely. But I will put them back in their box. They do come in this wonderful, I'm going to switch over to the other camera, this wonderful metal tin. And on the back side of the tin, it does give you the color swatch. Now, their color order drove me crazy. So I put them in my own color order. Just so you know, their color order is a little off to me, but they have it going from the whites to the blacks to the grays, into the blues, into the greens, into the yellows, oranges, into the reds, peaches and pinks, into the purples, and then into the browns and the metallics. And there are two metallics. There's a silver and a gold as well in this set. So we're going to take a look at the swatch. And as you can see, like I said, I put them in my own color order so that we would have, you know, from white to pinks, the oranges to the reds, reds to the purples, greens into the blues, and then the browns into the metallic. Gold and silver is here, but the light gray was lighter than the silver, so I put it first, and then into our dim gray, dark gray, and black. Now these were purchased by me. They were not sent to me. They are not a, this is not a paid for with gift review or anything like that, just so you know. I did buy these, so I'm going to switch you over and we're going to actually pull a, let's see, a coloring sheet. Let's see, what have I got here? Actually, we're going to pull a piece of paper first and we're going to test these with some water. Now this is a 67-pound cardstock. This is not a watercolor paper or anything like that. It is cardstock. And we've got our water brush here and we're going to activate it. It's full of water. And as you can see, there's water coming out of it. Okay, so we've got lots of water there. So let's grab one of these beauties. Let's take a red because that's what everybody wants to do this test with. So we'll grab a red. Those are oranges. So we're going to use tomato. Give it a sharpen. So this is tomato, and it is a red. It's an orangey red, but it's a red. Now, I tried to find some information about these on whether they were a wax-based core or if they were an oil-based core, and I was not able to find a lot of information on them. But look at them go down. I'm going to actually fix that because it looks like it's auto-focusing, and I don't want that. I hate it when it does that. So let's focus you in. There you go. So I'm going to put down a really good layer here. And it just goes down so nice. And I'm just going to go back and forth one way and then the other just to get a really good coverage. Make sure that that's nice and thick for you. Alright, so we've got a good swatch there of red. Now we're going to take our water pen, and as you saw, it was quite wet. I have a whole bunch of water there, and we're just going to give it a test. Now it is moving a little bit, but it's not completely dissolving unless I agitate it quite a bit. Like I've had to agitate it quite a bit to get it to actually dissolve. So that's not too bad. I wouldn't say that I would use these with a wet medium by any means, but as a colored pencil for dry coloring, it definitely works. And as you can see, I've agitated it enough to peel off the paper. So that's a lot of agitation. Let's take a yellow just to not wheat. I need yellow. There's yellow. Okay, so this is the yellow. And once again, I'm just going to go back and forth, get a really good layer, and then go back and forth this way just to complete the layer. And we'll go over it with the water. Let's wipe this off so that we make sure that there's no red in there. All right. So this is moving a little bit, but it takes a lot of agitation. You know, I'm having to soak it down a lot. So in my opinion, spraying these pencils with just a fixative isn't going to run your pencil unless you soak it. If you're just misting it with a fixative, it's not going to be too bad. But I would not use it with, say, watercolor pencils or a water-based liquid. Like I wouldn't use it with a mixed media. But that being said, these are for coloring. They are not for painting. You know, so if you're going to use a water base or a liquid fixative, be very careful, is all I'm saying. All right, so we're going to color one of these wonderful little pictures. I've got to print off another one too, because this is usually my Monday picture. And I'm going to be using it for this. So let's see here. So I've got rose, did I? Yes, okay. Let's actually use red. Red. So as you can see, beautiful picture pencil, quite centered core, and it's got a really big core. So I'm going to color this little heart here just because Valentine's Day just ended and I didn't get to celebrate it with you guys, so I'm going to color the heart. So I'm going to get you in position here. Okay, so let's do these little hearts. And as you can see, there's not a lot of dust coming off of these, but they are really soft. And I did do the swatch on a coloring book page, but this is cardstock and it is feeling so nice on the cardstock, which is really good. Now, because I put quite a point on this, it does take a little bit more going around and putting in the layers. I think if I would have left it quite short and blunt, I probably would have gotten a better coverage, because of the thickness of the core. But I really enjoy having my pencils quite long or quite sharp because it gives me the ability to get into these tiny little areas as well as into the bigger areas. It just takes a little more time and a couple more layers, that's all. But these are a very smooth, they just glide on the paper, which is really nice. And they're well pigmented. I'm not having to go over things multiple times, just a couple of repeats because of the fact that I am using a very sharp pencil. I'm finding that I'm getting those little lines from the sharp pencil. So, and that, like I said, may be eliminated just by not sharpening it to a fine point like I have, because the duller the pencil gets, the more coverage I'm getting. So, and of course we will go through and we will put in our shadows and all that other fun stuff. Now, another reason why I wanted to use this one in particular is because I want to try the metallic silver and gold. And this one with all the little curlicues on the heart is a great one to do that with. It also gives me the ability to work with the other colors as well as the metallics. Okay, so I've got a good layer of the red down. And like I said, this one is just called red. There is no extras to it. It's just red. All right, now the next one I'm going to use, however, is, I think Carmine would be the best one. Yeah. This one is Carmine. And as you can see, the core on this one is slightly off center, but with the lack of wood, I feel that it's not really doing too much to the ability to color with it. So yeah, see, the wood goes all the way down, gives you a good amount of core to color with, which is pretty much all I'm looking for. So I'm just going to do the edges and give it that shadow. Into what is going to be the metallic curlicues. Now, of course, you can always do the opposite and put your dark down first and then go over it with your light. I do that on many occasions for different effects, but I want the dark to stand out on this instance, so that's why I'm doing it second. All right, and it's going down really nicely. It's very soft, very smooth. No scratch. I hate scratchy pencils. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of scratch with this, so that's great. And they're very, you can definitely see the color even with a fairly close to the same color pencil. So all Sorry if I get quiet. I'm so used to coloring that when I start getting concentrated on something, I go all quiet. All right. I think that's going to be about it on that. Now, any sharp lines that you have, you can of course grab your other pencil that you just used for the first part and just go into those sharp edges and blend them out. And I haven't gotten too close to the line here. There we go. Okay, so that's how far we've gotten so far. And of course, you know, I shoved you off camera, so I'm sorry. Now we're going to just take the red and we're just going to go back in and just blend out those sharp areas a little bit. Make sure that we've got a good coverage and that it looks all cohesive. Now I'm not pressing hard, I'm just very, very lightly going over it to cover any white spot and to blend in those dark lines that I just put in. And these pencils do seem to be a pencil that don't seem to leave a lot of white spot, so you may not have to blend more with a blending pencil. You may be able just to blend with just the pencil you're using, which is awesome. I use a blending pencil to make it look shiny, but if I can blend with just the pencils, I'm happy with that. All right, I'm going to move you back a little bit here. There we go. So that I can not completely bend the page. So I'm just going to move you a little bit more. There you go. There, now I don't have to bend the page so much. Alright, so let's get our gold and silver. Now, I'm pretty sure gold is right here. Now this is a brownie gold, like almost a green gold. It's not my favorite kind of gold pencil. I really, really do like the ones that are a bright yellow gold. But for this instance, we will make do because that's what we do. So we're just gonna, and as you can see, it just fills the space. And again, like I said before, I have a tendency to sharpen my pencils to a really, really fine point. So I end up putting lots and lots of layers down. It just gives me a little bit more control over how much I'm putting down and getting into those really, really tight areas. And these do seem to be layering quite nicely, which is another great thing. Nothing worse than a pencil where you can only get one layer down and that's it, or two layers down and that's it. All right. Just getting into those tight little spots. I do hope that everybody has had a wonderful, wonderful week. I am so sorry that I have missed so much of the week, and hopefully, like I said at the start of the video, maybe I didn't. My internet's still down. So hopefully you guys get to see this on Friday. If not, and you're seeing this after Friday, that means that my internet did not come up. But I really wanted to get these videos out to you anyway, so I am doing them on Friday. Well, I'm doing this one on Thursday, but I will have them all done by Friday and hopefully have them out to you. If not, I am so sorry, and I hope you enjoy it anyway. But I will be putting it out as a Friday fun stuff, or Fun Stuff Friday video, because that's what it is. It's the fun stuff. It's when we get to play with all the fun stuff. And of course, you know, it was Valentine's Day, so I have a new computer that is sitting there waiting, very, very patiently waiting for the internet to come back up so that my husband can get it all set up for me, because my computer, this poor little thing, has been giving me issues and all different error messages and blue screens and all that fun stuff. Well, not so fun stuff. All right, so we've got the gold down, and as you can see, it is a brownie kind of gold. I'll turn on the light here and see if you can see the reflection. Maybe. There we go. So as you can see, there is a metallic sheen to it, but it is one of those brownie type of golds. Now I'm going to leave that light on if it's okay with you all. Well, it doesn't matter if it's okay with you all or not. Nobody's here to tell me no. I'm leaving the light on because it does help me see what I'm doing. And it's so much easier to tell you what I'm doing when I can actually see what I'm doing. So we're going to put the silver down. And this is a silver. It's got the metallic sheen to it. And once again, I sharpen it really to a really nice point, and it seems to have a little bit of separation there, but it didn't affect the sharpen, which is great. And the core doesn't seem to be loose or fragmented, which is also really good. Now, if you do find that you have a bunch of splits in your pencils, I will definitely tell you, do not hesitate to send them back. If you enjoy the pencil, make sure that you get a replacement set. If it continues to do that, then you have one of two choices. Either enjoy the set the way they are, or not bother with them. It is completely up to you. This is a budget-friendly set. I can't tell you exactly how much it was because I can't get into my Amazon at the moment. But it is fairly budget-friendly. I think it was like $20 or something like that for a 72 set, which is not bad. And they are smooth. They are really smooth. Okay, so we've got the silver down. As you can see, the silver also has a good metallic sheen, which is fantastic. Now we're going to do a little bit of purple. Let's do this one. Nope, that's not purple. That is indigo. What color of purple do we need? We need purple and rose pink. Now, I do find that this set, along with some other sets that I've come across, have purple. See, as you can see, this one says purple, but it's a very light reddish kind of purple. It's not as blue as I'm used to, which is fine. It's still a very, very pretty pencil, but it's just not the color of purple that I'm used to. And I have found a couple of other sets that have the same color listed as purple. And I'm going to turn the light off so you can see the color better, because the light washes it out a little bit. So we're just going to cover these little spots at the end here with the purple, and I'll go through and I'll use a different color of purple to do the lines. Okay, now I'm going to use this one, which is rose pink, and it's a very, very red violet kind of color. So, well, it's actually a purpley pinky color, but I don't know if you can see that very well. I think it's pretty much too close to the other color. Because it's very close to the other color. It's fine. We'll just fill it all in and give it that two-tone hue. There we go. And on these little tiny areas, it's really hard to get the show of color that you want. Alright, so let's use apple green and foliage green for the leaves. And I'm taking a look and making sure that there's no splits. And there doesn't seem to be any splits, so let's do a foliage green first. Now this one I want to be extremely sharp. Because I want to get into these lines here. And I am going to put the green, dark green in first, and then I'll put the light green over top so that we can brighten that dark green. And I'm hoping that with the other computer, the camera will show color a little bit better, because that looks terrible. Let's fix that. Because that does not look green at all. It's not the right color either. There we go. trying to get you to the right color, the color that I'm seeing. And that's closer, but it's not perfect, and I don't like it. I want it to be perfect. Nope, it's just not going to let me, I don't think. Yeah, I think that's as close as I'm going to get, guys. Sorry. And it may also be my monitor, so hopefully I'm not just sitting here fiddling with this stuff. And you guys see it all perfectly fine, but I don't because my monitor sucks. Which is a very, very extreme possibility. I want to make sure that I stay in focus, everything else for you. All right. So hopefully that looks green to you and not just gray. To me it looks like a gray green, and it's not. It's a brighter green than that on the paper. The reds look perfectly fine, so I'm thinking that it's just my focus in that. I just have some setting off. And one of these days I will learn more on how to keep these things in check, but it's a learning process. And of course, being that I'm in no internet land, I'm using a different program to record with than I'm used to. So I'm having to figure out the adjustments and all that sort of stuff all over again. I just wish I could find a program that would just do it automatically and make my life a little bit easier. There we go. So we've got the green down, and as you can see, that apple green is quite a bright green. And has blended into that other green quite nicely. And I keep on missing this one. There we go. All right. So far we've used a couple of greens, and we've used some reds and some purples. Now I think we're going to do blue and dark blue on the flowers here. So we've got a light blue, and I think Dodger blue would be good. A good dark blue. And because these are very, very small petals, of course we are going to sharpen the pencil to a very, very heavy, fine point. So nice thick point, and I'm going to do the dark blue first because I'm just going to do a little bit around the base here of the flowers. And I'm just going to do them all the same color because, yeah, we're getting into a later part of the video, and I don't like making them too long. It gets boring for y'all. Sit here and watch me color. All right, so Dodger Blue is down, and it's a nice bright blue. And we're going to put down, oh, I missed a heart. I'm going to have to fix that. Now this one here is dark turquoise. And it's a very nice medium light blue. It's not too pale, but it's not really dark either. So and we'll get all the blue on the petals. They are little teeny petals. So tiny that I can barely see them. I have to look at the screen to see them, so that because it's enlarged on the screen, to make sure that I've gotten to the ends of the petals, because yeah, my eyesight's not so good, and without the light on it's hard for me to see. Alright, so there's our blues. Let's see if I can make it to the end of the petals. That'd be cool. Alright, now we're going to put those back. Yeah, it's definitely the fact that this is too long. Now we're going to grab our yellows. See, I'm trying to use something out of each family, each color family. So I've got some light yellow here. This is Jasmine, is the color name on the pencil. Oh, that is a very light yellow. I think I'm going to darken that up a little bit and just use yellow. So this is just yellow, straight yellow. I'll darken that up a little bit so that we can see it better. And it stands out nicely on that blue anyway, so nice bright yellow. And then we'll go into our oranges, and this is not the color I was looking for. Okay, so this is orange. And I think it's a little bit paler than, oh, the dog has decided that coughing is good. Let's see here. Add a bit of red orange to that. This is orange red, just to make it stand out a little bit. And there we go. Now we're going to take our red again, and I'm filling this little one here. I think this is a tomato red that I just grabbed, because I just grabbed a red. Let's see, yeah. Well, actually it's flamingo. So it's a little bit pinkier than the rest of the reds. But there is our absolutely adorable little picture, and I'm going to grab my duster brush if I can find it. Of course, you know, my desk is a mess, so trying to find things on it is there it is, difficult. You guys always see the clean part of my desk. I don't show you the messy part of my desk. Now we could put a bit of a background on it. There is a deep sky blue, but it's a little bit darker than the dark turquoise, so I'm not very keen on doing a background with that. So I think we will call it a day with that. I was able to use the metallics as well as reds and blues and greens. And let's see if I can show you the metallic. Oh, I'm going to turn the light on. Try not to blind you with it. So there's the metallic. You can see the reflection a little bit. Now, as you can probably see, now that I've got the light on, I can see it quite well. There is some white spot in there that I did not see with the light off. So let's see if we can eliminate that. Now I'm just using my Prisma blender here because I want to see if this is a wax base. Because the Prisma blender, I find it'll blend an oil base, but it will ball it up a little bit too. So if this balls it up a little bit, then it tells me that it's an oil base. And it doesn't seem to be balling it up a lot. With all pencils, I find the Prisma blender lifts up a lot of color. So you end up with a lot more dust when you use the Prisma blender. And less color on your picture. And of course I could have gone in with the white or with the red again and just gone over it and blended that in together with the pencils. These pencils do seem to be soft enough to do that with. But I didn't want to take a whole lot of time. And I wanted to see how well they blended with the blender pencil. So, like I said, this is the Prisma blender, and they are blending quite well with the Prisma blender. They're not balling up, or of course you have to be really light-handed with the Prisma blender, because if you go too heavy-handed and you scrub at it, you're going to lose all the color off your page. I have found anyway, and it may just be me, but that's just my opinion of the Prisma blender. But it was the first one that I saw, and I wanted to check and see if these were an oil base or a wax base. And so far they seem to be a very soft wax base, but like I said, I can't get onto my internet right now to verify that. If I can verify that before I'm able to put the video up, I will leave a comment in the about section on whether or not they're wax based or oil based. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed the video and enjoyed looking at this wonderful set of Artlicious colored pencils. They are a beautiful pencil and they sharpen really well. I think they're a little bit long for the tray that they're in, so they're popping up, because even turning it, it doesn't seem to put it down. So I think it's just the tray and the fact that the pencils are a little bit longer than the tray. I'm quite sure if I sharpen them all that they'd all be laying flat. I don't see too many difficulties with them. There are several that seem to be slightly off center, but with as little wood as there is, it's not that big of a deal. if they're just slightly off center. See, this one's perfectly centered, but this one here is slightly off center. With the size of the core and the lack of wood, I don't see a huge problem with the slight off-centerness of them. All in all, I think they're definitely live up to their name. They are definitely Primo Soft colored pencils. They go down brilliantly, and I can't say too much more. You know, there's not a whole lot of bad things I can say about these pencils. I do have a couple that I have found that are split, that have a slight split in them. So, of course, I will go through the rest of them, make sure that there's not too many more, and deal with that myself on a later date. I may end up sending them back and asking for a replacement set because I love them. I think they're fantastic. Or I just might live with it. I don't know. I will have to see. They don't seem to be doing any sort of breakage on the cores or on the points. I do have a point that broke off though, and it may have just been me putting things in here. Yeah, it was probably me because it broke off of this one. It's just me putting things in roughly. But anyway, wonderful set of pencils. I can't say enough about them. They're soft, they're creamy, they lay down beautifully. Even the silvers and the gold, even though the gold is not my favorite color of gold, it does have the metallic sheen to it and is a shade of gold. A great selection on every color family. There's definitely enough of the light, mediums, and darks, and this one here seems to have a lot of really good yellow selection. Some sets have one or two yellows and that's it. This does have a really good selection of yellow. It also has a good selection of peaches and pinks, skin tones, into the oranges and into the orange reds. It does have a little bit of a lack in the reds as far as I'm concerned. You know, it does have six reds, but this one here I would call a pink, not a red. It's that flamingo color, that really, really deep pink color. And it's lacking in the light purples, in my opinion, too. Great selection of greens, a really good selection of blues, and the aquatic colors, and a really good selection of browns, including a couple of the lighter browns as well, which a lot of sets are lacking in as well. Also lacks in the grays as far as I'm concerned, but this is only a 72 pencil set, so for the size of this set, it has a fantastic selection and variety in each color family. Alright guys, that is it for me. Of course, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button for me. It does make me feel really good. Leave me a comment. I do try to get back to everybody that comments on the videos. If I haven't gotten back to you this week, I do apologize, and I will be going through those as soon as my internet comes back up. I was able to get to a few people using my internet data from my cell phone, but it's run out. So hopefully I will be back up and running online fairly soon. Remember, always hit the links. The links are a monetized link, so I will get a couple of pennies from being an Amazon associate for every item that you purchase from the link. So please do hit the links, and you know, if you are going to purchase the product, do so through the Amazon link. It does help out the channel quite a bit. And of course, last but not least, remember to relax, color, and stay safe. I hope you all enjoyed this. Bye-bye for now.